one of the teachers of Bill Clinton, quite a good historian, wrote a famous book on the evolution of civilizations. Reports, for instance, about the following observation. The so-called Industrial Revolution in England, that is where we see a big upswing in economic activity accompanied by a large increase in population size that begins at 1650, 70, 1700 and so forth. Carroll quickly makes the observation that parallel to the outbreak of the Industrial Revolution, we find for the first time the establishment of large-scale fractional reserve banks. And now he gives an interpretation. The observation is correct. Nobody doubts, so to speak, the parallelism of these phenomena. But his interpretation is the establishment of large-scale fractional reserve banks was responsible for the outbreak of the Industrial Revolution. Now, based on theory, of course, we know that that cannot be the explanation for the Industrial Revolution. The Industrial Revolution broke out despite the fact that fractional reserve banking practices were introduced at the same time. Why do we know that? Because we know that an increase in the amount of paper notes printed simply cannot, physically cannot, increase the overall wealth in society. It can redistribute wealth from one group that do get these credits at the expense of impoverishing some other part of the economy. That can happen. But it cannot cause a general upswing in economic activity. The argument would be just as stupid as we would say there was a great increase in toilet paper production. Far more leaves of toilet paper were created during that time. And that is the explanation for the Industrial Revolution. If I would formulate it in this way, everybody would immediately recognize, hey, there is something wrong about the explanation. But because it is referred to banking, fractional reserve banking, most people not understanding that it does not mean more than printing more toilet paper leaves, they believe this sort of stuff. A completely false interpretation of the historical events.